Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly reading for May 2025. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And yep, we're going to jump right in, Sagittarius. If you're new to my channel, by the way, I'm going to give you your astrological overview. Then I'm going to do your spread. Then I break it down week by week. And I pull my cards. I talk about a little bit more aspects that are going to impact you. Then we'll do the second spread. But listen, I want to welcome you to the most incredibly historic paradigm shifting, profound month of the year, of the century. We're going to put it out there. You and me and nobody on this planet has experienced what we're about to experience. It is a landmark month with Saturn moving into Aries. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's not just that. All right. But let's take a step back just to give you a little bit of perspective. As I mentioned in your 2025 forecast, all right, that's still up. I said this year, the Great Awakening, we're here, all right? The Age of Ascension, we're here. The Age of Wisdom, awareness, all of that is the year of the snake, right? We're shedding skin, transformation, right? The year of 9. 9 is the end. It's the end. It's completion. It's fulfillment. But it's also 9 is humanity. And you see humanity is changing. The world is changing. We're all preparing for 2026, which is the year of 10, the big year. All right, 1 0 equals 1, right? So just remember, as you move into May, the 4 C's that you're going to feel strongly that I talked about, that are the biggest themes of 2025 is community, collective, the collective, right? Consciousness and courage. And it's because all planets are changing signs. But the big thing is the 4 outer planets, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, all changing signs in this very compact, compressed time frame we've never seen. Yeah? They're all moving into fire and air. They're all moving to feminine and masculine. And they're all aspecting, and they're all going over that 0 degree point that I have talked to you about. Not a lot of people are talking about this. This is the biggest thing. It's the world axis. The 0 degrees is the critical degree. It's the degree of creation. So great change and new beginnings, the beginning of the beginning. As you know, we're leaving the age of Pisces. You know that, right? We're moving into the age of Aquarius. And this is why I've been harping on what's been happening since mid-March. That big wave that you've been on, that once in a lifetime 6-planet conjunction over the 0 degree Aries point, that's bringing you into this new era, this brand new era in your life. And to be honest, when you see what's going on for you, Sagittarius, oh yeah, you're about to have a lot of fun, but also your life is 1000% changing. Okay. Now the third of those 4 outer planets that I just mentioned, Saturn, yeah, changing signs, moving into Aries the first time in 30 years, but joining Neptune. Remember, Neptune just moved into Aries. And now they're here together the first time in hundreds of years. So we have to consider this special. Expect great change, great things, great new beginnings. Please look at look at all my live streams where I channel and I make predictions and I talk about the geophysics affecting Earth and the Schumann's resonance and all of that. The world is changing and you play a part in this. You're part of the collective, which is shifting, the Great Awakening. You're awakening. Thus, you're having greater power. And so I asked you last week, how will you contribute to the collective, to society, to humanity, or to your family, to your workplace? However, right? All for the greater good. Now, in May, there are no oppositions. Yeah? There's only 2, 3 squares, piece of cake. May is one of the best months of 2025. Yeah? And so is June. We're leaving the intensity of April and March. You're going to love this. And when I say no oppositions and a few squares, those are planetary aspects. I'm not including the asteroids, planetoids, lunations. Those are all in the second spread. Now, first 2 weeks, we are in Taurus season. Yeah, so it is very grounding. Please spend time in nature to heal, realign your frequencies. But remember, at the same time, we got all this fire and air energy. You're feeling amped up. You're ready to go. You're a fire sign. You're 3,000 steps ahead, feeling ambitious ambitious and tenacious and empowered and very enthusiastic. All of that's like running through your veins right now because Mars is in Leo all month. We talked about this, okay? You're loving it. I would be surprised if y'all are taking trips, big long trips. You love Mars in Leo. That's in your 9th house. You're the native ruler of the 9th house. You're feeling this inner wisdom. And then you've got Venus in Aries all month. What? Right? Venus is your heart, right? What you desire, things that bring you pleasure, and the fieriest of signs that rules your 5th house of love and pleasure and sex and creativity and family and children, creative projects, procreation. Y'all are having kids too, okay? And don't forget, and I dropped these forecasts, this one I'm going to drop like a week before May to help you, prepare for these big events. Don't forget, you've got that new moon coming up in Taurus, all right? So that's happening at the end of April, and you're going to feel the energy of that the first 2 weeks of May, okay? And remember, that is in your 6th house. So your life is changing because that is, for you, out of all the signs, the 6th house is your everyday activities, your routines, your lifestyle. There's something new you're adjusting or bringing in. The 6th house is work, the workplace. Y'all getting new jobs? Y'all starting your own business? It's a great time. There are no retrogrades. There's nothing that, you know what I mean? Also health. Is there anything with health matters that's going on? Yeah, that's a 6th house. Pets as well. Now, here's the other thing. Mercury is going to be in 3 signs in May. I told you things are moving. He's moving fast. But of course, the big thing is Saturn moving into Aries. The first time since 1996 to 1999. Think about what happened around that time. All right. Remember, Aries rules your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, true love, family, children. Yeah. Recreation as well. I told you, listen, this is going to be big. Okay. Because it's not just Saturn moving into Aries. And think about what happened around that time for you. But it's going to be very different because Saturn is now with Neptune. And this is history making. Now, remember the blue asterisk, the best aspects of the month, right? And there's a lot on the back. And if you are taking notes, please just go ahead and circle the entire last week of May. You have no idea. It is extraordinary. It's bonkers, auspicious, and you're gonna feel this enormous progress. And we have one of the best new moons of 2025. I'll walk you through it. Okay. You are definitely going to be in a new area in your life by then, a brand new area. And you're already going through change and you have felt it. There's no, if you haven't, that you will, like right now in May. All right. You're this huge brink of change. And listen, I've told you June, it's not only one of the best months of 2025, it's the luckiest month of 2025. And you're going to see huge change. Sagittarius, looking at your chart, I see you. So I want you to get excited. And yeah, I'll leave you a couple breadcrumbs along the way to June. Now, one thing that I have to address, because y'all are still leaving a lot of comments about this. So your sun and rising, okay? And I talked about this in an April live stream, okay? And you can see the title, just look through the title in the playlist or whatever. I'll even leave it in the description box or at the end of the video where it says sun and rising, okay? And please look at my live streams because I do predictions and it's 100% accuracy at this point. And I do channeling and I give you messages that are outside of this because I don't have enough time. I've run out of time. So your sun and rising, I have to tell this in every sign. Your sun and rising, you got to read both, okay? Your sun is only 50% of your horoscope. Your rising is the other 50%. So if you want to get your full horoscope or your forecast, you've got to read both, okay? And it's fine if you don't. I'm just saying, like, if you go through a month or a week where you're like, oh, nothing happened, nothing resonated with me. Well, did you read your rising? That's where it's happening. So just keep that in mind. And your moon is important too. And I've given you examples. And I try to do that just to give you perspective, okay? And context on what happens with me when things hit my Virgo moon. I've told y'all. So that's why I do lunations. And I tell you that, there are weeks where the lunations are going to be stronger than the planetary aspects. So yes, what I mentioned here, if I bring up something about the moon, yeah, it's going to affect you as a Sagittarius. But if you watch your moon sign, that's specific to you. And so you really, really, really feel that. Anyway, it just adds another layer. So anyway, if you are feeling really emotional, Sagittarius, emotionally charged even, or extreme, even burnout, or if you're feeling drained or defensive, or your maternal side comes out, or things are going on at home or family or loved ones, relationships, or if your intuition is off the charts, that's all your moon. Yeah? That extra layer that you combine with this. So keep that in mind. And we are going to have enormous lunations in May. Okay. I do want to remind you, you're going to love May, and there's something special happening in May. So please just remember that life is a miracle. Okay. Literally, because we have the uncanny, perfect conditions to make all of this work, to make us alive. So please remember that life is a miracle. Take advantage of all that the universe offers, especially in May. Make the most out of everything, because life is full of opportunities, and you will see that in May. So please take them. All right. Now, Friday, the 2nd, Sagittarius. Let's dive in. You got Venus conjunct Neptune. Oh, wow. You're going to feel this. I'm going to talk about this more in your weekly forecast next week, because this is a really big aspect. This aspect only happens once a year. Typically, it's because it's so rare. Little sister, big sister, Venus and Neptune. But remember, Neptune is freshly in Aries. So nobody on Earth has experienced Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries. That's happening at 1 degree. What does that mean? 1 degree is the Aries degree, the initiator, right? And you feel it a lot because you're a fire sign like Aries. And it's moving the needle forward on your personal goals. Okay. So you're going to feel this strongly in terms of maybe taking charge, leading the way, taking action for what brings you pleasure, what you desire. We're talking about Venus here, but then you throw in Neptune, compassion, the arts, spirituality, your ideals, imagination, intuition, creativity. It's a symphony that's happening right now. Both Venus and Neptune represent music. So please, again, this is a conjunction. You're going to feel it strongly days before, week after. Please put on music that moves your soul. That is what's going to inspire you. Remember, music is sound. Sound is therapy, and it's healing, and sound is literally vibrations. High frequency, okay? Feel this. I've talked about hemisync. Yeah. I talked about that live stream. So look at that. Okay. Use it. It's life-changing. Yeah. Kick up those gamma waves. Both planets also represent creativity. So your creativity is going to be off the charts. This is a great aspect for singers, artists, actors, dancers, poets, writers, moms, dads. It does not matter who you are. Use this. Any creative project, use it. What is the root of creativity? Create. Okay? It's happening at 1 degree. So build the world that you want to live in. That is what this is saying. And it bears repeating. Neptune is, what have I been saying? Visual. Visualize. Vision boards. Your vision. What is your vision? Visualize your goals. Literally, put yourself, your finish line, put yourself there. All right. On that timeline that you want to, for your legacy. Okay. Put yourself there with confidence. It's Aries energy. It's confidence. Venus is money. You want money? Visualize it. I told you about the story of Jim Carrey. You want love? Venus is love. It's in your 5th house of true love and romance. Visualize it. You want a relationship? Visualize it. You'll get it. You'll get it. Yeah? Because this isn't just spirituality. Visualization, as I have mentioned numerous times, because it bears repeating, is literal neuroscience. Okay? Neuroscience. You literally create new neural pathways in your brain when you visualize. That's why I always talk about vision boards. All right? And again, it's happening in your 5th house of joy and pleasure. How could you not use this? Please use this. Be creative, feel inspired, and visualize. And take action. It's at 1 degree Aries, plant seeds. okay, for your vision. So you see right off the bat, you have this portal of inspiration and passion and self-love and creativity. So please use this, and we're going to break it down more in your weekly forecast. Okay, so now, okay, let me tell you something here. Also, on this day for you, I'm going to tell you this. Remember, I just talked about the lunations and how important they are, and sometimes they're stronger or they even amplify the aspects. Well, this day, the moon, which rules Cancer, will be in Cancer. Now, why is this a big deal? For you, Sagittarius, 2 reasons, okay? The first is that Cancer rules your 8th house, okay? So that's not only your personal transformation, it is relationships, and it is wealth building. It's wealth. And so why is this a big deal? Because the moon this day will trine Venus, money and love, will trine Saturn, will sextile Uranus, will trine Neptune, will trine the North Node, and sextile the South Node. So you see why the second spread, when I talk about lunations in the weekly forecast, big deal. It's in your 8th house. It's in your 8th house. This is big. That's deep. That's deep. Okay. So, of course, we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast, but that is the 3 most feminine planets, the moon, Venus, and Neptune, all working together in perfect harmony for you. Are you joking me? Like, that's big. If you do watch for your rising or your moon, if you're a cross-watcher, or, maybe you watch for your husband or your, goldfish, whoever, like, your best friend, it would be the cardinal signs. That's Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Taurus and Pisces that feels this the most. If you know your natal chart, and this is again something that I do that nobody else does. If you know your birth chart, if you have planets between 29 to 2 degrees in fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you will feel this the most as well. But it's such a strong aspect, everyone's gonna feel it. Everybody. Now, Sunday the 4th, Pluto goes retrograde. Here we go. Okay, it's just a few months, October. And when we hear the word retrograde, we're like, what? No, this is good. Remember, Pluto brings a lot of intensity. And so this is really good for you because Pluto is transformation. So this is all about your inner transformation. Your transformation comes from within. You know that, right? So use this time for that deep inner growth. And it doesn't mean you're not going to feel the Pluto aspects that are happening this month. Oh, you will feel it. You will feel it. But you're really tapping into like your intuition and whatnot, your personal empowerment. So really love this. We'll talk about more in your weekly. I'm going to just mention something for you here Monday the 5th, May 5th. Mark this in your calendar. Mercury in Aries will sextile Jupiter in Gemini. Now, the reason I'm going to bring this up now, this is the only Jupiter aspect we're having this month, okay? Planetary. Again, Jupiter will, like the lunations and stuff and things like that. So remember, sextiles are windows of opportunity, okay? You've got to use this. You've got to take action. Jupiter is luck, good fortune, abundance. It's profit. It's wisdom. It's expansion. This is great for planning your future. Mercury's the mind and communication. It's also travel. Y'all are be traveling. But this is happening in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and legal matters. And one-on-one connection. So it can be love, it can be career, it can be, your intern, it can be your Uber driver, it can be your wedding planner, it can be your publicist. It does not matter. Okay? Use this because Jupiter expands. When you plant those seeds, Jupiter is the water. This is a day for contracts, agreements, travel, business, marketing, ideas. Use it. All right. Remember, you're going to feel this a few days before and after. Now, let's see what's going on here. Tuesday, May 6th, Venus will sextile Pluto. We've had this a couple times, but this, like I said, is different from the other times. And we're just there are some things that you're going to need to say this day. Okay. Just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some communication this day for you. And I want you to use this. Listen, pick your favorite White Lotus character. Why? This aspect is all about power, sex, money, secrets. What I say, you're going to say things, or you're going to hear things, but this is all about what you desire, what brings you pleasure. Okay. Relationships, money, really big theme here. Now, on the 10th, Mercury officially moves into Taurus. You got the sun and Mercury together. This is good. Okay. Because remember all that fire and air energy. Mercury leaving Aries to move into Taurus slows things down. So what you're going to do, because this is more practical, tactical, grounded energy, what you're going to do is you're going to take a step back, Sagittarius, for the next 2 weeks, and you are going to look at the big picture for yourself, and you're going to look at your path, and you're going to ask yourself, okay, does this make sense? What are the next steps, right? So it is pulling back and looking at the big picture. Okay. It's all about planning. All right. You're going to have it here for 2 weeks, all about gains and profits, but a lot of it, you're going to be thinking about work and your everyday activities and health. Okay. Now, I did say the sun. Oh, wow. Okay. So I did say the sun and Mercury is in Taurus together. Don't forget Uranus is in Taurus too. Okay. So we'll talk about that, but ask yourself, for these 2 weeks, next 2 weeks, what are your breakthrough goals? What do you want to shake up in your routines? Because Uranus is the great awakener, and he's all about the unexpected surprises, but your personal freedom. Now, on the 12th, buckle up. Sagittarius, this one's big for you. You have a full moon in Scorpio. Everyone's going to feel this. We'll obviously talk about it more in your weekly forecast because there's so much happening here. Just remember, full moons are a time of completion, culmination, endings, turning points, okay? And if you're new to astrology, the moon in Scorpio is already a little intense. It brings a little bit of intensity, but there are about 14 things happening this day that's adding to that intensity. You will feel this, okay? Now, this is going to be more you unrooting things because Scorpio rules your 12th house. What is the 12th house? It is a place of rest and retreat. It's a place of it's everything beyond the physical plane. It is spirituality. It is intuition. It is healing. It is the subconscious. So you know how full moons illuminate, and Pluto went retrograde in your 3rd house of the mind, and Scorpio is more psychological. You're going to be going deep. There are going to be things coming to the surface for you to unroot. Okay? Even people that you thought that you trusted, maybe you realize you don't. That's what happens here because Scorpio, this is not only illuminating, but it's a full moon in Scorpio where it's all about revelations, okay? And it's in your 12th house. The 12th house also rules like hidden enemies, okay? And self-sabotage. So if there's something that you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or I can't, no. This is a time where you're going to see what you need to unroot. One of the reasons why this is a big full moon is because I talked about Uranus. We have a Uranus Kazemi. That's perfecting on the 17th. Therefore, it's strong. It only happens once a year. And it's a conjunction. You're going to feel it during the full moon. Okay? And it will be opposite the full moon. So there's that opposition. Remember, I said lunations. Yeah, you still have them. Now, what does that mean? That means that you may have some surprises, unexpected things that do happen at home, family, loved ones. Again, it just may be how you're thinking about it, right? But there is something inside you that will need to come out to be revealed. And it can have to do with relationships or your personal transformation. Remember, there's wealth stuff happening. Remember, Taurus is the sign of finances. And we're coming out of that new moon in Taurus. We are in Taurus season with Mercury in Taurus. Yeah. And now the sun conjuncting Uranus in Taurus. So there may be something here with money matters. Okay. But just be open-minded and flexible in terms of letting things go, patterns, habits. Remember, for you, it's mostly the subconscious, something within you that's going to be revealed. And I want you to think of the death card, because the death card in tarot is attributed to Scorpio, and it is all about transformation. Remember, I said this is the year of shedding skin, caterpillar to butterfly. All right. So use this One reason I'm harping on this for you, what did I just say about home, family, loved ones? Well, this full moon will be aligned with the North Node and the South Node. And remember, the North Node in Pisces and Saturn too, that has been in your fourth house of home and family and true love and significant other, real estate, things like that. So I want you to think about November 1st. Okay? That's when we had the new moon in Scorpio that corresponds to this. What happened around that time? Think about 2 weeks after November 1st. Okay? We'll talk about this more in your weekly forecast. One other thing that I'm just going to tell you now, just to give you a heads up, because remember I said that you may be talking and having conversations or even thinking a lot, is Mercury will square Pluto. And this is one of the squares I was talking about. All right. Mercury, mind, communication. Okay. And then Pluto, that's in Aquarius in your third house of communication and thinking and ideas. And so this aspect, when Mercury squares Pluto, it adds an extra layer of intensity to an already intense full moon. And so it can be, Pluto can take Mercury's energies to extreme. So I've talked about polarities. You want to avoid extremes. This may be a day where, you may have big ideas come up, big thoughts come up, where you doubt yourself, where you question everything, but you're going in circles. Don't put stress on yourself. Remember, let things unroot. What do you need to see? Things will be illuminated for you. All right. So just stay frosty, be cool, be open-minded. It's just a little bit of a squeeze. Remember, you can use this. Any of this you can use. I've told you that. You can use this in your favor. All right. Mercury is square Pluto. When you get over this little speed bump, okay, and you're responsive, not reactive, guess what you get? In 2 weeks, you get Mercury trine Pluto. So you have something waiting for you. Something wonderful waiting for you. All right. So just tap into your inner Mulder, Scully, do that work, that even some shadow work. This is the deep thinker. It's the powerful storyteller. It's the reporter, the psychologist, the intellectual. That's Mercury square Pluto. Yeah. You can use it. Okay. To feel empowered. I have Mercury square Pluto in my birth chart. I've had this my entire life. I've worked with this my entire life. So you can see I use it for the greater good. All right. Now, if you watch for your rising or your moon or your bestie, fixed signs, that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Like me, I'm an Aquarius if you're new to my channel. And I'm going to give this a wide orb because of Uranus. But if you know your birth chart, planets between 20 to 27 degrees in Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, or Pisces as well, all right? Because of the North Node, South Node activations, we'll feel it the most. But of course, it's a full moon in Scorpio. Everyone's going to feel it. Now, here we go. Oh. I see something for you. I see what's happening here. I really want you to pay attention. Oh, this is going to be a big one for you because I'm looking at, remember I just talked about the moon and how big the moon is? Well, May 13th to the 15th, it'll be in your sign. Now, so you're really letting things go. You're really going to be, and it's right between that full moon and the sun conjunct Uranus. Big. And this is happening on the 17th or the 18th, depending on where you live. And I say that because, again, it just depends on where you live. And a lot of these aspects, remember, happen like right at midnight, around midnight, anyway, it's a Uranus Kazemi. Happens once a year and it's rare. What is this? Okay. This is a conjunction. And just, of course, we'll talk more in your weekly. I'm just going to give you one quick thing. The chance of something very sudden or unexpected happening in terms of changes are very, very, very high when the sun conjuncts Uranus. And remember, it's happening in Taurus, okay? That's your sixth house. And so Uranus, remember what I said, the Great Awakener? It wants you to shake things up. That's how you use this, okay? To shake up your routines. It's happening in your sixth house of routines. You and only you. Sagittarius, no one else. You. Your daily routines, your habits, your patterns, your lifestyle, your daily activities, work. There's going to be a big shakeup with work. Okay? Health. All right? But remember, you can use this. Change is the only constant in this world. Be open, be flexible, be open-minded. It's great that Mercury's in Taurus. It, pulls you back from, doing something like with, like Mercury and Aries. But we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast. All right. Just one last thing. Mercury will square Mars too. So you see that these are two very big, strong aspects. And I've told you Uranus is sextiling the North Node in Pisces, the South Node in Virgo. I've told you this. So what does that mean? And actually sextiling Saturn too. So what does that mean? It means whatever happens around this time was meant for you, okay? Because Uranus harmonizing with the North Node, which you will feel strongly the first 2 weeks of May, all of June too. All of May up until June. I told you that's big. It's in your 6th house of everyday activities. So when I say Sagittarius, you out of all signs are going to have some of the greatest changes in your life. Yeah, there you go. But because it's with the North Node and even with Saturn, yeah, that's part of your journey. That's your destiny. That's the reality you're creating for yourself. Remember, we just came out of that Venus Saturn conjunction. Again, if you're watching this before, you're probably going through it right now. Okay? The last week of April, the North Node, the activations. So create your reality, shake things up. What do you need to, what is not serving you? Shake things up. Because if you don't do it, like I said, you use these aspects or they use you. If you don't do it, Uranus is going to say, oh, Sagittarius, they didn't shake things up. Okay, well, let me do it for them. Okay? So again, you can use this. There's definitely going to be something here. And remember, if you're watching for your sun, if you're Sagittarius sun, sometimes when these aspects happen, it's not about you. It can't, not all the time. It can be other people. So let's say because it's going to affect your 6th house. It could be your favorite colleague decides to quit this day. And you're just like, what? Do you know what I mean? So it still affects your world greatly. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. All right. So Taurus and Aquarius will feel this the most. If you have planets between 24 to 29 degrees in your birth chart in any of the fixed signs, or Pisces, Virgo, or if you have any planets 0 to 5 degrees of Aquarius or Aries, you're going to feel this. All right. And I'm saying that because of some other things happening. But again, like I said, Mercury will square Mars. All right. So there is definitely something here that maybe there's something here with home and work for you. Basically. Okay. Now, and even health. Now, on the 18th, we'll talk about this in your weekly forecast. Jupiter, your ruling planet, Sagittarius, will square the North Node and the South Node. We haven't had that yet. We'll talk about your weekly forecast. Now, on the 20th, May 20th, here we go. Oh yeah. We have the sun moving into Gemini. You love this. And the reason why, fire and air. What a blend. So what does this mean? The sun in Gemini season is all the next 4 weeks for you. It's all about I've got to know and I've got to do. Okay. And you're going to go through moments of, I just had I had the best job interviews, or I've had the most stimulating conversations that's opening doors for me, or I just took this trip that changed my perspective, or I had a light bulb brilliant moment, or it changed my life, or my reels on social media are going viral. That's sun in Gemini. That is Gemini season. That is a vibe for the next 4 weeks that you are going to feel, with the heavy emphasis on partnerships, relationships, marriage, legal matters. You hear the church bells? That's a sign. Because, sure, the sun's in Gemini, but what other planet is? Jupiter. All right. So you're going to love this. It's just a very stimulating time, especially intellectually, mentally. But again, a lot of energy, a lot of physical energy. But yeah, you're good. And remember, this can be one-on-one with other people. It doesn't matter who it is. All right. So big focus here. Big focus. Power of the mind. That's Gemini season. Mind over matter. Expanding your consciousness. All right. So please plant seeds and communicate. You're going to be the most communicative you have been so far this year. It's in your chart. All right. And it bears repeating. Remember, June is insanely special. And there are rare aspects happening in June that I'll just tell you now. Okay. We have one of the best new moons of the year in June. It's happening this month. But again, the one in June, that one's conjuncting Jupiter. And the luckiest aspects of the entire year just happen to be in June. Okay. Now, so you see the trajectory, right? So put yourself in that, and you see the sun sextiling Saturn. And that's the thing. Remember, Saturn rewards you. Saturn is karma. Saturn is hard, and he's the authority, and he comes in hard and limits you, and he's all about restrictions. But with what's happening now, Saturn is actually being very easy on you, and we'll talk about that. But let's go to the 22nd, May 22nd. You got Venus trine Mars. Again, we've already had this a couple times, all right? But remember, Venus and Aries in your 5th house all month, but now trining Mars. You know what happens when Venus and Mars gets together? Use this. Oh my diddly days. Y'all, some of y'all gonna be going on long trips, or you're gonna be meeting foreign people. You're gonna meet people overseas. This is, yeah, it's Venus and Mars together. But you can, if you're not here for romance, it's creativity. All right, creative projects, family stuff. Now, there's a couple things not even on the whiteboard, like the sun sextiling Neptune, which is like bonkers amazing. But let's just get to the 24th, 25th, depending on where you live. Here it is, the big one. Saturn moving into Aries around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time, Brooklyn time, where I live. Convert it wherever you live in the world. Historic. So I need to break down what's happening for you, because you have never experienced this, Sagittarius. You have never experienced this, and it is mind-blowing, because out of all the signs, what's happening for you, like, just know that you're good. Okay. So like I said, it's been since the 90s, right? Saturn and Aries. Now Saturn's only going to be here till September before moving. He's going to go back into Pisces for a little bit. And then it's February 2026 where Saturn stays in a station for several years. Okay. And Aries. So what does this mean? Saturn and Neptune together all summer long until September from this point forward is giving you a preview of where you will be in your life starting February 2026 and beyond. So you get a glimpse, but you also create your reality. What did I say? Saturn is reality. Saturn brings in those reality checks. And you get to work with Saturn and Neptune now, compassion, your ideals. Use this, please. You have all summer. And again, why is this a big deal for you? Because it's happening in your 5th house. You got Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house of pleasure. We call the 5th house the house of joy. There's no other sign. It's you, Sagittarius. I can't. The 5th house, once again, true love, romance, family, children, creativity, creative projects, self-expression, procreation. 5th house is sex, too, if you're here for that. A lot of y'all are having kids, thinking about having kids or grandkids or something. Remember, I said his son, sometimes it's not, there's something expanding here. And 5th house is also hobbies. Y'all going to take up some new hobbies. And some of y'all are going to turn them into money-making machines. Now, let me just briefly tell you, because I see the time here. Let me just briefly tell you the sheer magnitude of what's happening. We have Saturn conjuncting Neptune in Aries. This has only happened 7 times in modern human history. So, yeah, think about how thousands and thousands of years, only 7 times. The last time was March 1703. And we can trace it back to the first time, 593 BC. And sure, I'm sure it happened before, but we're talking about modern human history. So, as I explained, your 2025 forecast, Saturn and Neptune are at a house party. They're on the dance floor. They're dancing a jewel. You know what I mean? And they're vibing and they're having a great time, but they haven't met yet. And they will meet February 2026. Okay, so when I say they're conjuncting, they are, but they don't perfect until February 2026. That's why that's the big, because listen, they're perfecting, they're meeting at 0 degrees. February 2026, the beginning of the beginning, the creation degree, the great reset, the world access never experienced in history. Again, maybe 4,000 years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7,000 years. Who knows? Who knows? But not in our lifetime, not in modern. So this is big. It's the beginning of the beginning. And this is why I've always been telling you about that big wave you've been on, to take control of your reality. And yeah, sure, it was a little overwhelming since March. But remember, we started with that 0 degree point in March. 6 planets. Okay? You started feeling big change, enormous change. And even exhaustion, things were draining. The energies of April were so overwhelming, but that big wave brought you here. And now things get easy. So I'm very excited for you. This is history making. We'll talk about more in your, weekly forecast, because I'll do a live stream on what Saturn and Neptune together are like in Aries. And I would highly recommend, I did a video on Neptune and Aries. You can find that again in my playlist. Maybe I'll leave it at the end. But I would recommend watching that just to give you a little primer. Okay? So you're not lost, because these are such big things that have never happened in our lifetime. It's a good idea to know how to take action and how to use this. Okay? Now, since the very first microbe formed on this earth, Sagittarius, I have told you Saturn is authority. I have told you Saturn is discipline, boundaries, limitations, restrictions. Yeah? Life lessons and karma. So if you work with Saturn's rules, you get rewarded. You learn your lessons, your karmic lessons, you pass. You move on to the next cycle. And then Saturn rewards you and he brings you that structure. That is what Saturn does. He's all about stability, long-term growth and gains and goals. Your goals, long-term commitments. Yeah? There are no shortcuts with Saturn. And he's moving into Aries. So 2 things here. 1, so everything that I just told you, how this is the sheer magnitude of what's happening right now, you throw in the fact that Saturn and Neptune are now sextiling Uranus and Pluto. What? Which you're going to feel greatly over the summer. That's when you really feel it. When we get to June, sextiles being windows of opportunity and making things effortless for you and giving you this listen, Saturn normally doesn't give out handouts like this so easy. So you've got it good, and you're good. You're good. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. If there's a catch, I'm going to tell you what it is real quickly. You have Saturn, the planet of authority, moving into Aries, the sign of I am, the self-starter, the entrepreneur, pioneering spirit, okay? Leadership, initiator, consciousness. Ooh, that feels good. Yeah, that feels good. Okay? The beginning of the beginning. So this is you working hard on yourself and the things that you want to launch and the things that you want in your life. And it's all about you. Okay? But for this month, you and one other, other people, partnerships. So Saturn doesn't make things easy normally, but no. Okay, he's shaping who you are. If there is one catch, like I said, and this is going to be very crucial for you because you are a fire sign, just like Aries. Yeah. Aries is really like, let's go, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, like action, action, action. Saturn's like, no, because I'm in it for the long term. So you've got to tap into your inner Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off. Okay. You can't go to the karate tournament because you were bullied and you don't know anything about karate. You've got to learn. Saturn is life lessons. Okay. So this is more about slow and steady. Slow and steady. Okay. Because it isn't a sign of Aries that can be a little impatient and impulsive and rebellious. So just work with Saturn's rules and you're going to be acing his tests because he brings those grounded, structured experiences in your life that you learn and you grow and reality. And remember, Saturn's with Neptune, who's all about dreams. So Saturn is making your dreams become reality, but you have to work with his rules. Okay, you have to work with his rules. Slow and steady wins a race. It's not hit the ground running. It's hit the ground speed walking, power walking. And of course, we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast, but just remember, you create your reality. Okay. Why do people say life is what you make it? You know that. That's what we've been saying for thousands of years. That's why I say you create your reality. So take action as above, so below. Now, what time? Okay, so we got to go. We got to go. Sun trine Pluto. Yeah, that's wonderful. You're going to love that. There's going to be something powerful that happens around here. You're going to start seeing doors open for you. Mercury conjunct Uranus. You're going to see some. This is when you get like news that you couldn't ever have believed. Okay, surprising, wonderful news, or even you having a breakthrough idea around this time. Again, a lot of it with your daily activities, work, health. Mercury and Gemini, you see on the 25th. Mercury's now in its domicile for 2 weeks. Whoa. Now things are moving, communication, big things are happening. You are signing things. You're going to be signing. There's definitely a lot of y'all getting married, something forming with partnerships. It can be career. You got Mercury here sextiling Saturn at 0 degrees. Okay. Agreements, contracts, marriage, legal matters, all to the next level. Creative projects, all of that. And then the 26th, 27th, depending where you live, the new moon in Gemini, one of the best new moons. Why? Because it's conjuncting Mercury. It's trining Pluto. It's sextiling Saturn and Neptune. Mercury sextiling Saturn. I mean, are you joking? This is insane. It's happening in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. So Sagittarius, like I said, there's going to be something new with that. Okay. Or legal matters, like I mentioned. Something with contracts is very likely here because you've got all these Mercury aspects that rules contracts and agreements and things like that, right? So then you also have Mercury trine Pluto. I can't even. Mercury, the planet of communication, agreements, and contracts, and big important conversations that you have, trining Pluto in Aquarius in your 3rd house of contracts and agreements and conversations. Like, you have no idea how amazing. Let's get started. Sagittarius. Let's see what's going on for you. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, May 2025. Sagittarius. Oh gosh. Okay, so how are y'all doing? Whoa, what a big month. What a big month. Y'all look amazing. Thanks so much for being here. I do a traditional cult of cross spread, offers the best overview. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will, Sagittarius. Secondly, I love y'all. Let's get started. Okay, Sagittarius, let me give you some more time here. I gotta drink that. I'm out of that water. Okay. Yeah. Oh my. You get everything. You get one of these. You get a mic drop. I'll show you even like my big crystal here. Mm-hmm. Do you know which crystal this is? Leave it in the comments. I can't. Oh my. Okay, let's get started. This is going to be an easy. I told you your things are going to be your best month. Your best month. I told you from the very beginning. You got the Hangman. Good. There you go. Amazing. I'm not surprised. You're moving into May already thinking about changing things. You're moving into May already with a new perspective. You're already looking down your path. You're already looking at your, the 1 year plan, the 5 year plan, the 10 year plan. You're already doing that. If not, do it. But it's like I don't have to tell you that. You're just going to do it when you get the Hanged Man. Okay? Look at the halo around his head. And look at, there is a link to the World card. Okay? The end of the major arcana, but this is halfway through and you already know. You're already seeing the end. I love this. Amazing. Change your perspective on things. That's all it is. You got Mars and Leo in your 9th house of your belief system and your perspective. Okay. You got the North Node in Pisces and that's big. All right. So spirituality, very, very, like I can't even. And then remember Neptune, the Hangman is attributed to Neptune, which is freshly new in Aries in your 5th house of what's going to bring me pleasure, what's going to bring me joy, love, like everything. You got the 3 of Cups and the Heart of your spread. Remember, this is a monthly forecast. You got a lot to celebrate. You got a lot to cheer for. You got a lot of changes happening. 3 is a vibration of the Empress. This is a feel-good card. It's a card of celebration. It's the end of a harvest, start of a new harvest, or something new happening in your life. And you're celebrating the end of something too this month as well. You're good. A lot of, a lot of family energy happening for y'all, but also like partnership stuff. You got the 10 of Pentacles, okay? In your challenge area, all right? Now, when you look at your entire spread, it's actually a good thing. Because there's something here where you are looking, this is the end, right? 10 is the end. You're looking at the end and you're coming out of this into this brand new era in your life, thinking about your legacy, thinking about finances, thinking about money, thinking about family, thinking about your harvest, your home, all of that. This is ascending. This is your physical realm. It's like you're coming into this sense of like this like new things coming into your consciousness. But wow. All right. I mean, it's even like the 5-pointed star, right? That's a big deal here. We'll talk about that because you have that here too. But yeah, that's actually a good thing. But if there's anything that you need to resolve with like family, like generations of family, even ancestry is coming up. If there's anything that you need to resolve in that regard, or even like how you're going to build your legacy, just know this is the month to spend time thinking about that. That's all it is. You got strength in your crown. Who are you? Like, yeah, you feel empowered. Yeah, you're ready to go. Yeah, you're spiritual. Like you're tapping into wherever you find that source of strength, you're tapping into it this month and you're feeling strong and powerful. And that's what I said this month is anyway. Okay. There's infinite possibilities, right? There are, and you're going for it with infinity symbol there. Also, you got the Queen of Wands. Look at you go. The Queen of Wands, by the way, if you are a cross watcher, how funny is that? Queen of Wands has been showing up a lot in the second spread too. Actually more in the second spread, but the Queen of Wands, the biggest thing that's coming through for me is like there is going to be a sense of you really going deep. And you know how I talked about shadow work? And what is shadow work? If for those who don't know, it's when you explore parts of yourself that you don't want other people to see, or that you are uncomfortable like seeing that part of you, right? You're doing it effortlessly. And a lot of the planets and the aspects are helping you. So you're like, you know what? Why am I doing this to myself? Like, no, right? And you even see that here with the black cat. Like she's in touch with her child. That's what makes her so confident. And that's what makes her attract anything that she wants. You know about the law of attraction. You know why I always say vibrate at that high frequency. When you do, you can have whatever you want. All right? You're amazing. This is really great. Okay? Because Queen of Wands can attract what she wants, and you're going to, and you're feeling it deep in your soul. This is in the root of your spread. The Queen of Wands is the entrepreneur, by the way. So a lot of work stuff, as I said, okay? Be confident. You're going to be confident AF, actually, right here, okay? Look at all this. This is amazing. Queen of Wands also, and this is why it's so funny if you're a cross-watcher, because I'm bringing this up because of what's happening this month, and especially for you. Especially for you with Saturn and Neptune, by the way, moving into your you already have Neptune there, but the 5th house, like I said, is like procreation and, intimacy. And like, she is the most like intimate, like she can, like having okay, you get it, right? Sex. We're all adults here, okay? See, so she's open. So there's a lot of that, like, okay? But either way, she does have the sunflower in her hand. You see them in their thrones as well. They appear in the actual sun card. So she has the powers of the sun. She can have whatever she wants. She's very optimistic. That's the sun. Optimism, opportunities, good health, all of that. King of Pentacles in your future. What did I say about wealth building? What did I say about first of all, King of Pentacles is the richest king, and he is a big provider. He's a big protector, and he's very practical. He is Taurus. All right. And so there's a reason why he's outside of the castle. So please spend some time in nature, but also there's something freeing you. Look at this. There's something freeing you. You've got to do that for yourself. Okay. With that hangman, but that's amazing because he's integrated with his harvest. That's a big deal. That's what, and he holds that golden scepter. He's only one of two people in all of tarot that does that. And that is anything he touches turns to gold, basically. So you're moving into a place of great wealth. And when I say wealth, I've talked about this last week. It can be spiritual wealth. It can be wealth in family. It can be wealth in love and relationships. Whatever resonates for you, because pentacles are your physical reality too. Okay? But you're good. You're absolutely good. Let's get to your stuff. Sagittarius, if you like this reading, would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. Y'all are amazing. You know I love y'all. All right, so oh wow. Did I do that or did that come out? That was interesting. Well, I'll tell you it both ways. You're 1000% good. This is going to be the best month that you have ever had. Okay? It's not even, you see this. You have nothing. You got, look at all these, all major arcana, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. You got two more here. This is going to be one of the most impactful, significant months for you. You got the Chariot. Yeah, you're ready to move forward. Do it. Go for it. Go after your hopes and your wishes and your dreams. You see the stars in the canopy? He's doing it. Nothing's stopping him. He's not turning back. In fact, take a really close look at him. Look at his chariot. He's sitting in cement. He's cemented in his chariot. He's not going back. This is courage. This is bold. This is willpower. You're good. The Empress. What the fax machine? What did I just say about the King of Pentacles? What did I just say? I said he is one of only two people in all of tarot that hold that golden scepter. Anything they touch turns to gold. This is abundance. This is everything. And you've got the Empress with the King of Pentacles. Do you see how rare this is? Because placements matter. When you got it in your future and your external factors area, there's something in the universe that's fueling this growth in your life. This the Midas touch. I can't even. The Empress. By the way, what did I say it earlier? 3 is a vibration of the Empress. You have in the heart of your spread, and you actually got the Empress card. Card 3, 1 + 2 = new reality. The creation, the birth of new things. She's pregnant. What did I say? A lot of y'all having kids or thinking about having kids, or maybe in your family or something, like a friend you know or something. There's baby stuff with Saturn and Neptune and Aries in your 5th house of baby making. Look how comfortable she is. Look at the pomegranates on her gown. That growth and that fertility and the golden wheat indicating this new crop. Something new happening in your life. So you got someone opening doors for you, or you're partnering up with someone in some big major way. That's huge. You even see this. I said the symbol of Venus here. Love, relationships, money. They're rich. They're both rich. But please Please, please. What did I say? Please spend time in nature. They're both outside for a reason. She is Mother Nature. She's Mother Universe. The Empress is everything. She's a goddess and she is love. She's super conscious love, but she is also like not only abundance, but she's sensuality. She's sexuality. You already got that here with the Queen of Wands. And now you've got two protectors here. Okay. And hers like more maternal. But anyway, you got Temperance. You got your card. What did I say earlier that you're already mapping out things? You got an archangel saying, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Okay? And that's what you want to do. Because this is all about patience. Yeah, I talked about that. This is all about moderation, avoiding extremes. Yeah, not being like, oh, I gotta go to. No. This is you seeing the end game. Seeing your finish line, seeing your legacy, mapping it out, visualizing it, and knowing you're going to have it. That is what the archangel is telling you. You're going to get there. So why worry? Why stress? Why put things on top of yours? You're going to be good. You're going to be fine because I'm going to help you get there. You're good. And again, that's your card. You're going to be so tapped into your authentic self by letting a lot of things go too, but the Hierophant and your final outcome. So what did I talk about? What is Neptune and Aries already? It is that like like spiritual warrior, spiritual hero, that visionary leader, that visionary artist, that compassionate leader, hero. That's all of that, and he is the divine. I've told you about the divine. That's love. That's compassion. That's creativity. That's the divine. That's what makes us human. But he's a big leader and he's full of wisdom and great knowledge. And that's you. And that's you. You're going to be the biggest leader. And he does love structure and things like that. So again, there's something that you're planning and things are just falling into place for you. And he did come reversed, which is very interesting. That's fine too. Just do that shadow work if you need to, and just go within. Use Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Remember, that's gonna be a lot of the mind. And then this full moon in Scorpio is gonna be a good healing time for you, even though it is a little, it may be intense. It is in your subconscious. It is spirituality. So remember, even that, just use it to empower yourself and be that leader for other people. Be that maternal, paternal, whatever it is, the boss, whatever it is. People are going to be looking up to you. Okay. So let's break it down week by week. Oh my gosh, Sagittarius. Okay, we're going to do this fast. It feels like you don't even need, like, this is one of the best spreads that you've had. Again, you just have something really rare here. I can't believe that. That's insane. And the fact that you've got them together, that never happens. Because usually they can come out together, but in different parts of, anyway, you're good. Big things are happening. Let's see the first week. Venus will conjunct Neptune. Pluto will go retrograde. A lot of things happen in the first week. And of course, there's many, many aspects we did not talk about. We will talk about in your weekly forecast. First week for you. Oh my, you're good. Right off the bat, Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, new opportunities. A lot of y'all are having babies. There's something here. And when I say that, remember, it can be just the birth of something new in your life, creation. Okay? Ace of Pentacles, there's your path. There's your golden pathway. The biggest pentacle in the deck. Now, I did talk about the five-pointed star. How big of it's gone back to Mesopotamia times. It's linked to the vault of heaven. It's the golden ratio. You've heard of that? Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about it in a live stream, but it's like consciousness rising too. It's everything. It's harmony. It's everything. But it does look like there may be some new opportunity that comes through right away. Remember, Mercury is going to be sextile Jupiter anyway. Right away. That's insane. Okay. Money, but also your physical reality. It could be something coming through in your life that you were like, oh my gosh, I wanted this. Second week, we have that full moon in Scorpio, and then the Uranus Kazemi. Let's see what's going on for you. Oh, there you go. Perfect. That's what you need. Oh, I love this. You got the Eight of Cups. Yeah. What did I say about that full moon? What is that? Now listen, you gotta walk away from something around that full moon. Let something illuminate. It's all about endings. But for you, empowerment. Just feel empowered. Recognize what you have to walk from. Okay? Because you know something serving you will serve you better. I love that. Okay. And it can have to do with family. You have a lot of family stuff or real estate or, you know what I mean? Like there may be something there in general, but again, it's more about your subconscious. It's cups. It's the moon, right? It's all right. Now, third week. Yeah. We move into Gemini season and of course, a lot of other stuff happening. Third week for Sagittarius. You got the Four of Cups. Okay. That's if you are a cross watcher, that has come up a lot. Okay. There's going to be some things that after that full moon, yeah, you may just have a little bit of a moment. Remember, I said the moon is going to go into your sign, right? And so, yeah, so you're going to have a lot of feels. All right. It's especially that entire week. But that's just saying have some gratitude of the things that you've let go. Don't regret it and don't feel that you made the wrong decision as long as you trust your intuition. This is a card of gratitude. That's why I say that, because there is this element of, just make decisions where you're not regretting anything. That's all it is. Okay. And remember, Sun conjunct Uranus it's almost like an eclipse. It can eclipse things. I mean, nothing like it, but it can like eclipse things unexpected from your life. It was meant for you. Don't be like him, right? Who's crossing off his heart. Remember, you have amazing things happening. Now, the last, and that all it is raising your frequency. That's all you have to do. And again, anything with the North Node activated is meant for you. All right. Last week, let's just talk about the new moon in Gemini. We do have a Mercury Cazimi too. That's going to be absolutely amazing for you. Mercury trine Pluto, a lot of things happening last week. For Sagittarius, yes, the end of it all. You're good. You have the Ten of Swords, which, and when you look at it, it's like, right? But no, it's the 10 is the end. 1 0 equals 1. We talked about that. All right. You see, this is a card where the sun is coming out of the horizon. And what did we talk about that, right? We talked about that. And so those dark clouds are actually clearing. So what is this? Up here. What did I say? You're going to have a lot going on up here. All right. Especially you. Out of all that, you've got, Pluto and Aquarius in your third house and all this Mercury aspects. And we're moving to Gemini season. Gemini rules the third house. So yeah, there's a lot going on up here. But it's the end. Okay. The end. And it's amazing. But you have to learn. Anything that was challenging for you, anything that was hard for you, anything that you went through, any decisions you even made, any changes you made that may have been hard, learn from it. Remember, what did we talk about? Karma, right? And so those life lessons, take them with you to feel empowered, to empower yourself, because then you'll never have to go through those cycles again. That is what karma is, okay? And I'll show you something here. You see the man's hand gesture, same as the Hierophant. And so if the Hierophant is like blessings, it's like what's happening here? Blessing in disguise. So something's ending that was meant for you. For you to be, Anyway, you're good. This is the best month. This is your best month. I can't even talk anymore. Sagittarius, if you like this reading, it would be great if you'd like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. Second spread. Yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna look at love. We're gonna look at career. We're gonna look at a bunch of things. Tier 3 members, you know where to find the link, and anyone's welcome to join. We have a lot of fun. Next week, we'll go deeper in the aspects. Sagittarius, I love y'all. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.